Crypto presents exciting new opportunities for the investment-minded, but it's also volatile and accelerating in complexity. That's why we created Token Metrics, an intelligent crypto platform backed by an industry-leading combination of data, AI, and media that feeds optimized portfolios to crypto investors. Featuring Token Metrics ratings to help you find the best investment opportunities in real time, an indices page that showcases various model portfolios, and deep insights into price predictions and technical analysis. A dedicated NFT dashboard that evaluates NFT collections and assets by our machine learning algorithm to find the most profitable and secure NFTs across all available blockchains. Plus, with access to Token Metrics TV, monitor 24/7 exclusive crypto news and analysis. Whether you're a first-time trader or a seasoned crypto investor, you can stay informed and in control, backed by your all-in-one crypto companion, Token Metrics. Take control of crypto today at tokenmetrics.com.
On the moon and the Lambo.
Welcome to Token Metrics Live. I'm your host, Ian Bellina, founder and CEO of Token Metrics, and also general partner at Token Metrics Ventures. And today we have goddamn SEC. Pardon my French, but they're trying to really kill crypto in the US. Holy cow. We have quite the show. Stay tuned. On the agenda, this will be kind of more of an informal stream because we want to kind of just get this out there. But we'll be covering, as you see in the title, the potential SEC crypto staking ban that happened with Kraken, and Kraken having to basically stop staking in the US. Incredible. And then we'll go through and share our predictions on some coins you guys like: Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Shiba, Near Protocol, Cardano. And then I also take questions directly from the comments. So if you're excited, definitely tell a friend that not being in crypto is a financial crime. Yes, even in this bear market, there has been alpha. For example, on our customer webinar for our customers, we covered Dusk. Dusk was up like 40% today. I don't even know why, but our algorithms picked it up on Token Metrics. Then Canto, we covered that back in December, and even last month, it's done over 500%. I think it's done like max was like a 7x return in the last month and a half in a bear market. That's why the theory always stays the same. If you find deep value, doesn't matter whether it's a bear market, bull market, you can always find value, right? There's always a bull market somewhere. That's the theory, right? That's why the macro does not really matter, right? If you just focus on finding value. Now, for example, Canto is basically kind of overvalued. So what's the next Canto? How do we find out? What's the next 10x coin? What's the next 100x coin? If you want to know, stay tuned. I'll cover that as part of the AMA. All right, so with that being said, let's see who's in the stream. I definitely make sure to hit the like, subscribe, put on alerts so you know when we go live. We typically like to go live around, I'll say like 12:45-ish Eastern time, New York time. I'm currently here in Austin, so it's like 11:45-ish. So anywhere between 11:30 to, I'll say anywhere from 12:30 to 1, but typically it's around somewhere in the middle. But definitely on Fridays as well. All right, so first on the stream was I Need a Nap. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream. AZ Isra, what's up? Hamed, how are you? Julie from Sydney, what's up? Dean Collins in the house. Dimitri is asking about Aptos. Great to have you here. We can maybe cover that if we have time. Broken Noodle, always good to have you on. Happy Friday, Astrobots. Yes. Quick announcement. Well, can't really talk too much about Astrobots, but I know the community has been asking for different ways we can add value, and we have begun to officially execute on it in terms of ways for us to add value to our community and those who have lifetime membership access via Astrobots to Token Metrics, the platform. Now, I can't really comment too much on it due to just the regulations, or maybe even lack of regulations and clarity, especially in the US. But just know we are working with our Astrobot community on that. Stay tuned. All I can say is I'm very, very excited. We've officially brought on some partners that I think are going to do some big things. So stay tuned. That's all I can say. All right, so Deepak. Hey, Deepak from India. What's up? Jay. Isma from Spain. Greetings from Holland from recently. How am I doing, Ronak? I'm doing well. I am doing well. I'm here in Austin, enjoying the kind of gloomy weather, although it's not too cold. Definitely better than New York at the moment. All right, so let's now segue into we're actually prior to doing a quick market update. For those who are new, just want to kind of cover and kind of set the context, right? So this is Tokenmetrics live stream. What is Tokenmetrics? Tokenmetrics helps you become a smarter crypto investor. We've been leveraging data and AI to help you become a smarter crypto investor way before the AI narrative was big. I mean, so now with ChatGPT-3 and OpenAI, people are essentially seeing the power of AI. That we've been doing this since what? I had the idea for Tokenmetrics in 2018. Then we launched in 2019 at the bottom of a bear market, right? Then we added AI. I think about a year or so later, and we've been just growing the platform. And basically, our main products, we have crypto ratings. So think of this kind of like the Moody's, kind of like credit scores, right? We take different data points and we create different grades, all automated with AI, for both long-term investors, right? So this is kind of like a long-term investor list, plus short-term traders, right? And all this is dynamic and updates basically daily, based on different data points, right? So, for example, as a trader, we can go through looking at both technical analysis indicators and quantitative metrics, and using our AI, we create a grade that grades what tokens we think will do well, right? So I do a deep dive on this weekly for our Astrobot holders every Monday via Zoom. It's basically our Astrobot Alpha call. We've had some pretty big wins. Then every Wednesday, we also have a webinar for our customers as well. This is for the premium plan. But actually, let me just double check. I always mix this up. But if we just go to the platform here, I don't want to get this wrong. Yeah, premium plan and above. This is the pricing and everything. But yeah, so that's one of our main products, is basically the ratings we have, right? Why I like this, let's say you like me, you're a long-term investor. You want to know where is the value, right? We've built an AI grade that basically takes my brain and our entire team's brain of how we invest and view the market, and we have automated it with AI, right? So for instance, we can go to Solana, which I'll cover, right? And we've automated being able to go through and do fundamental analysis, give you a fundamental grade. We even give you a technology grade. The famous code reviews you guys know us for, we've automated that process. I mean, I think that's incredible. Nobody's doing that, at least to my knowledge, that I know in crypto. And also valuation grade. Right? So for instance, why this is crucial in crypto, right? Because if you want to avoid getting rug pulled, we're able to go through and get developer activity and on-chain data. So we can go through looking at all the developer activity, number of commits, how often, the frequency on GitHub, plus on-chain data, right? So how many active wallets they have, plus any security audits, any bug bounties, any hacks, right? If a project gets hacked, guess what? Their security score will decrease, and so will the technology grade. All automated, all being fed into the AI. And we can also download GitHub code, and we run our own automated code reviews that tells you, okay, are there any bugs, any vulnerabilities? And we can see, okay, how good is the code? And all these are data points fed into the AI. So that's one aspect of that. Then we also have, we launched this last month, our data API. So all this data now is being made available to developers for those who want to leverage our data to build their own trading bots, right? So let me actually drop the link in the chat. This is still a work in progress, but this will be our developer hub. If you go to developers.tokenmetrics.com, we're creating different recipes and resources. Okay, I put that in the chat. So basically you'd come here, right? We'll have different guides, right? This is still a work in progress, but it shows you how to get an API key. But we also have tutorials and recipes on how you can build your own trading bot using token metrics, right? So for instance, let's say you want to trade Solana, right? You could come here and say, okay, whenever trader grade is high, or when this turns, like in this case, it turned bearish, right? When this signal turns bearish, I want to sell Solana. I want to buy Solana, right? So using your trading bot in Python or whatever, you could leverage our data and our signals. I think that's pretty powerful, right? So that's one other element we have that we've launched. And then for those of you who are traders, we also have our trading view indicator. Everything is under products on our website, tokenmetrics.com, right? Trading view indicator. If I go to this, for those of you who want to leverage our signals or our framework on TradingView for crypto, that is available. For instance, like this is how it would look like. Let me actually update this, but it basically is token metrics indicator. What coin do I want to look at? Actually, I'll take it up later. But anyway, basically, it comes here. It gives you a cloud, kind of like a Ichimoku cloud. Dusk was one I was looking at because I covered this, I think, on the alpha call because our our signals were actually bullish on this at the time. Let me see if it's still bullish on this Dusk network. All right. Yeah, so it was bullish on the investor grade. And trader grade, okay, now it's gone down. So I guess the money's already been made on that one. But we're looking at it for a long-term grade or long-term investment. But basically, so in this instance, these are some trades that basically I have with our fund, either that or just watching. But basically, it comes here when it's red, it tells you basically it's bearish. When it's green, it's bullish. Then it also tells you basically. I don't want to look at those. Right. Basically, this tells you when to enter. Right. So, for instance, the inputs. So right now, this is the daily because it's a long-term strategy. If you want to do high-frequency trading or basically lower time horizons or smaller time horizons, you would change to high frequency. So basically an hour. I don't really do that. So I'll keep it just like that. I like to have my order sizing basically just all in, just one trade. But if you want to batch it up into different orders, you can also do this. All our customers get access to this trading view indicator. But if you don't want it, you can also buy this standalone as well, which is, I think, pretty cool. Yeah, so I just use this as an extra point for confluence, right? So basically looking at this, it tells you when to go short, when to go long, right? So in this case, it went long. If I can zoom in here, right? It went long. There was a long signal basically around here, and then basically it's gone up. All right, so that's one of our other products. All right, so with that being said, oh, by the way, we also do have a book. I know people have been asking for crypto education in times like this. We have the book, Crypto Investing Guide, hardcover and softback, available on Amazon and also on Audible as well. I love audiobooks, so definitely go check it out. If you've read the book and you like it, definitely drop us a review on Audible or Amazon. So far, we're doing pretty well. 4.4 stars on Audible and 4.5 on Amazon. Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. All right, so let's now get into the market. So quick announcement. We're always looking for ways to improve the platform, and we've also as of this week, made some new changes to the market indicator. Basically, we've looked at different models, different back tests, and try to see what's been optimal. And we've made updates, right? So if you log into the platform, app.tokenmetrics.com/market, you notice that the signals now have been updated, right, with this new model. So there'll be a lot less signals, and it should be a lot more accurate. All right, so we'll see how that goes. But I like to start here and see the lay of the land, see how the market is moving. We see Bitcoin dominance is basically 40%. Ethereum is under 20%. Technically, we're still in a bullish trend here. Although this gauge has been decreasing, it was as high as, I think, in the high 80s. Now it's dropped down to 70. I think the whole SEC crypto staking ban or case against Kraken has caused some concerns in the market. As we see here, bullish breakout strategy has decreased from being in the high 80s to now under 60%. Low frequency, which is typically more long-term, is still bullish. It's still in the high 90%. But the main thing I like to look at is we're still in Bitcoin season. So despite the rally we had from here to here, we were trying to test getting out of Bitcoin season into just white space, then into alt season. But the way I view this is we haven't really experienced a full-on bull market yet, right? So, but there was still alpha from here to here. But I think once we get to altcoin season, this is really when you start taking a lot of profits. This is when the top is almost coming, right? When it's kind of like last year, right? Because 2022, August 2022, this was altcoin season. Then let's see, where's 2021? Yeah, then 2021 as well, right? So I think whenever we enter this altcoin season, that's when it's like crypto retirement. You cash out, you come back when it's Bitcoin season, right? But yeah, so looking down at the sectors, because I know sectors are big, right? Sector rotation, we see that the grays have been decreasing, right? Last week we had most of the sectors were above 80. Now they're decreasing to barely even above 70%. So, I mean, the market has kind of corrected, which is always healthy. Top performers, Rocket Pool, Anchor, right? That's actually pretty interesting, and Fetch. So we actually have 3 of these in our holdings with Token Metrics Ventures. We got this on the weekend and Anchor on the weekend as well. Both of these kind of fit the liquid staking derivatives narrative, right? Basically, Ethereum, Shanghai upgrade, staking for Ethereum. And actually, Rocket Pool is a trade we made this week. Let me see how we're doing on that. Where's this? So this is actually doing pretty well. Let me see what I had here. So basically, I had an entry of like 41.73, stop loss 37.69, take profit 54.03. So here I'll actually show you how I actually use the platform with our fund to trade, even invest. But I've covered that in webinars. I'll just talk about how I use it to actually trade, right? So because I did cover this on the alpha and webinar, but I want to show people how a platform using data and AI can help you become a smarter investor or trader. All right, so what I like to do is I like to find projects for trading with a high TM trader grade. Right, so in this case, anything over 80% is good, right? That's one point of confluence. Then I like second point of confluence, looking at the trend signal. Right, this is basically looking at the price on our TM grade. And when it turns bullish, that's a good sign that, okay, it's time to start getting it, right? So back in December 4th, it turned bullish when the price was $20.54, right? It's done pretty well. And that's the second point of confluence. The third point is I like to look at the Sortino ratio and basically how accurate is the signal versus just holding. So in this case, holding, what you would have done at 20x, this is basically all time, right? Based on the price data we have, a 20x. But if you follow this trading signal, making 11 trades, you would have had a almost 30x return. So 10x more with a pretty good accuracy. But the main metrics I look for, Sortino ratio, which is a ratio that basically measures your risk-adjusted return, right? Basically, for every unit of risk you're taking, you want to get great rewards for it. But Sortino ratio is different from Sharpe ratio in the sense that it won't penalize positive volatility, right? Because yes, something that could be very volatile, but you just want to avoid volatility to the downside. To the upside, that's called 100x and beyond, right? That's going to the moon and beyond. That's always good. That's why I like this ratio. So this is better than holding. And it also helps decrease your max drawdown, right? Basically, how much money you would have lost from all-time high if you kept on holding or used this strategy, right? So from all-time high, max drawdown, you would have lost 86% of your value. Following the signal, you would have lost 64%, right? So for me, I look for this. Anything over 2 is great. over 1 is good, but over 2 is great. So that's what I look for, right? So basically a high TM grade for traders over 80, a bullish signal, and a certain ratio over 2, right? So those are 3 points for confluence I use on the platform. If you want to use a fourth, you could also use the trading view indicator, which we have here, as covered before. All right. This, we don't really have much. Right now I'm on the RPL and Tether. But yeah, that's kind of how I actually use the platform myself. So this is an actual trade we're in. All right, so that's that. Let's look at some tokens. People have been asking us to look into, right? So what do I think Solana is going to go? So Solana post FTX got hit a lot. Initially, I was bearish, but after a while, on the long term, once the investor grade went over 80%, it became very, very undervalued. And actually, I began to accumulate. Well, not me, but our fund began to accumulate. Basically, anything over 80% for me is good. It's basically deeply undervalued. Looking at this, technology is still good. Fundamentals are still good, but the valuation grade, obviously not the best because it is a large cap, but relative to what it was, from an all-time high of almost 260 at $20, Solana is pretty good, right? So, and they have a lot of capital, so they can weather the storm of a bear market. So based off of this, we're basically looking to accumulate now, basically a large cap. Now, if anything, I actually think might be very, very controversial, but we're always forward-looking, not backward-looking, right? So in the past, I'd mentioned that there is no point in holding Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, the money has already been made in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is almost like a stable coin at this point, right? Nobody is going to get rich holding Bitcoin. I'm sorry to say it, Bitcoin maxes, but if we're looking for big plays that will potentially set you up for life to build generational wealth, Bitcoin is not it. Bitcoin, maybe if you got into Bitcoin back in 2013, 2015, 2016, I got into Bitcoin when it was like around 850. It was under 900. But now I think we're getting to the same point with ETH, right? ETH was basically my stablecoin, or rather my store of value, since like 2018. Me personally, I was holding Ethereum over Bitcoin. But now Ethereum, I think, eventually as it gets closer to surpassing Bitcoin in market dominance, the question becomes, okay, Bitcoin, Ethereum is the new Bitcoin. What's next? What's the next store of value that's going to have more alpha versus holding ETH, right? So you start to look for large caps that have proven themselves, that have a huge war chest, that can weather the storm. And basically, I think in terms of what's undervalued, the way I'm playing it, the way our team and our fund is playing it, we like Solana. Right now, it's way, way undervalued relative to where it was. Polygon, as you guys know, that was one of our home runs. I think those could be the next ETH, right? So those are the ones I would be looking at. Right? ETH is not doing too bad. Investing grade is decent, but over 80% is good. But yeah, those are the ones I'll be looking at. Right? If we go to Polygon, right? So if we think next market cycle, what's the next Ethereum? I mean, these are if I had to bet based on the data we have and our AI, these are the two large caps I would pick, right? So Polygon and all that. Then if we go to Bitcoin actually now, investing grade has been slightly going up. It's actually not too bad. If you do want to hold Bitcoin, I mean, you can hold it, but just know that it's not really gonna, it's a very, very safe play. It's almost like buying a bond, right? So do you want to buy bonds or do you want to buy stocks, right? So just Bitcoin is more like a play for safety. But nowadays I feel like, why do that when you have stable coins, right? When you have Pax Gold, right? Now the issue with Pax Gold, to be fair, it's not liquid, right? So maybe if you're a whale, that's why whales like Bitcoin, just because of liquidity. Like if you're a billionaire, you can't go hide in Pax Gold, right? There's not enough liquidity. I think liquidity is like what, in the millions, right? So obviously it's very, very illiquid if you're a whale, right? That's why stable coins are probably better. All right, so that's that. And if you're trading Bitcoin, right now, our models are neutral. So not really the time to be trading Bitcoin. Same thing, let me check with ETH. Not the time to, well, actually it's slightly in a buy. So that has done well. Matic, if you're trading it, actually now's a good time to trade Matic. Actually, let me do a check, right? So I would look at this trader grade. Looking at the signal here is bullish, but let's see if there's any alpha in this. So actually in this case, there's not really any alpha. All right, you're actually better off just holding Matic for the long term, right? This has a better ROI. Yeah, so I don't think it's worth making 20 trades just to have a lower ROI, right? So in this case, I would actually skip this, right? I wouldn't trade this. I would just look at this more as a long-term hold. All right, so we will get to the whole SEC story with Kraken, but I just want to go through some other tokens here. So Shiba Inu, a popular one with the community. So we got Shiba Inu. Right now, we have it as a buy, although I like to look for strong buys, but I mean, it seems like something is going on here. Fundamentals are great. Valuation kind of overvalued for a meme coin at this point in time. So the money has already been made. Technology grade could be better. If you're going to trade this, yeah, even this, not really the best to trade at the moment. Let's look at the signal. So actually, the trade signal is highly accurate. Wow. Well, I guess it is a meme coin, right? So with 9 trades, you basically would have done what, a 300x? If you're trading this using this signal with a Solana ratio of 8, I mean, that's impressive. Now, this is why accuracy does not matter. People always get surprised when I tell them the accuracy of a trade does not matter. What matters is the money you're making for every risk you're making, right? Because going back to this, if we go back to this, why does it matter? You can be wrong. You can have a signal that's wrong all the time. What matters is being able to fix when you're wrong very, very quickly in a split second like that, right? And avoiding taking a huge L, right? So that's why I like to look at those other metrics like Sotino, the max drawdown, and the actual ROI. But yeah, I mean, so right now, not the best time to get in, but definitely this signal is highly accurate. So I would be watching this if you're trading that. Okay, all right. So next up, we got Near. Near has been on a watch list for a while, but hasn't really moved too much. Investor grade, not the greatest, but it's decent. It's okay. Has good fundamentals. We don't have a tech grade. I think. What are we missing? I think maybe. Oh wait, actually, because I know what happened. Their GitHub, because we pull our data from CoinGecko, and they migrated their GitHub. This one is deprecated, but they didn't update it on CoinGecko. That's why we're not able to pull this up. So we have to probably manually update it. But once we do that, we'll have a grade for it. But yeah, so right now, trading at kind of the same. It's in a buy, but just be careful out there in this market. And then another fan favorite, Cardano. Okay, let's see how this is doing. One cool thing is we have AI-based investment reports. We've actually integrated GPT-3 into this. This is all taking our own data and using GPT-3 to create an AI bot. An AI report. Right now, it's basically a summary on our data, but we're working on creating different reports for all these other subgrades, like the fundamentals of the tech and all that. And looking at this, Cardano, our AI says Cardano has great tech. So despite what you may have heard on Twitter, it has great technology. Fundamentals are okay, good, but it is overvalued, right? As a large cap, it is highly overvalued, and it's highly correlated with Ethereum, actually. All right, so basically, correlation goes from -1 to +1, with +1 being highly correlated. Basically, when one goes up, the other goes up as well. So holding ETH and Cardano is kind of the same thing, although it is more undervalued than Ethereum, but investor grades are kind of the same. If you're trading this, it's, let's see here, kind of the same. Not really the best time to be trading this. But if you did follow the signal, let's see if it was accurate. Actually, yeah, it was accurate. So if you're just holding Cardano, using the pricing data, I think this is from like, what, 2021, right? you would have, just give me a second as this updates. Looks like my browser is hanging. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so if you follow this signal, you would have made a lot more money versus just holding, right? And the main thing is almost a 2-to-1 ratio, but ROI is very, very high. Using 19 trades, let me see exactly what happened. Yeah, so basically this would have gotten you out of this crash here, right? If we zoom in here, yeah, so basically with all these signals, obviously they'll never be perfect, right? Even AI is not perfect, but the main thing is to get you close, right? To help you capture the huge rallies up and help you avoid taking huge L's, huge losses, right? So it basically helps you catch this huge rally here. Now then it gets out, gets back in, gets out, then captures this rally here, all the way up here. Then it calls basically the top here at September. It was in September around 2:30. Then the price goes back down, right? So that's why I was able to have a good ROI, because it helps you get out of this. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of our platform, at least the analytics platform. All right, so I will be getting to questions. Now let's cover the freaking SEC with this. All right, so for those of you may have heard, right? SEC hits Kraken with $30 million fine, orders crypto exchange to halt staking in the US. San Francisco-based crypto exchange Kraken has agreed to pay the SEC $30 million and halt its staking service for US clients. So the main issue that I read about this on crypto Twitter, I'm not sure if this article says it here, is basically Kraken was pulling customer funds together and then basically promising them a particular return that they actually were not getting from just purely staking on the protocol. So it seems like there was an issue with what was advertised and how it's actually being executed. The Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong did post on Twitter that there were rumors that this was coming out with the SEC, and then it came out like a few days later. And then Coinbase also put out a statement saying that their staking program has no issues at all. So I believe they're still going on with it, because I think maybe they haven't had any issues with how they've advertised the program versus how it's actually being done and the disclosure is being made. So I think that's the main issue. But looking at this, I mean, the SEC just needs to, and obviously you guys know I have my issues with them as well. But that's something we believe strongly that will get a big win for the space, right? We think they're overreaching. But anyway, the main issue I see with this is we still have no clarity, right? We're having, just going out there and enforcing after the fact, then expect projects to try to decipher the actual policy, the actual regulation, as opposed to just giving us a framework for regulation for crypto, to a point where I feel like innovation is being pushed overseas, right? That's kind of the downside. Like most projects now I know, like even though it might be an American team, they have to go overseas, they have to go raise capital overseas, they have to go create foundations or associations or projects or incorporate overseas, right? That's why you have other places becoming hubs, right? Dubai, Switzerland, Hong Kong, Singapore. Like that's where crypto is now as a hub, not the US. Although there's lots of talent in like places like San Francisco, but now it's going global. I think this is horrible, right? But I think for crypto to continue going forward, honestly, we have to stop asking for permission. At this point, the SEC, since 2017, hasn't really been giving us any clarity. Every commissioner has come in and just given us a bunch of BS. So at this point, I think it's better for us to keep on innovating. And if we have to leave the US, then so be it, right? If they don't give us clarity, we have to go to places that will accept crypto and give us an actual framework to regulate crypto. So that's kind of my take on all of that. All right, so let's check the chat and see how we're doing. What do people have to say here? Ahmed says, hi, Ian. So when TM mobile app this year? So Token Metrics Mobile is something we've been looking into. To be honest, the actual app itself is not a huge priority, but we do want to hopefully get one out this year. First thing we would like to do is just update the actual platform itself, and creating a mobile responsive design that it looks great on mobile devices on your browser. Once we have that done, let's say like maybe if we can do that by Q2, then maybe Q3 we can get that and turn that into an actual mobile app, right? But it is something we would like to have done, I would say by end of the year, but we have lots of products we're working on, right? So we had the data API, which I think is something lots of people have been wanting us to do, making our data available. So one cool thing why I'm very, very excited for data API, plus AstroDAO as well, a project, right? That was basically incubated and by Tokenmetrics. Tokenmetrics, the team, the company, and myself were early contributors to the project. We don't have it on our platform, but if you go to right, CoinGecko, you can pull it up, right? Because we need over 100 days worth of price data before we can really do anything in terms of giving a grade to a project. But this is the project. I highly encourage everybody goes and checks it out. Right? It's called AstroDAO. Yeah, so this is the website. But this is why people will now start to see why we did AstroDAO, right? And why it's very cool. So you guys know, actually, I didn't cover this before on the stream. We also have our indices, right? Basically, we take our TM ratings and we create model portfolios. Obviously, post FTX, they're kind of down, but so for instance, let's say you want to use our grades and create an index for a particular exchange, right? So we have them for DeFi. So in instance, let's take Uniswap, right? Using our TM grades right now, because the market is kind of bearish, we do have some stablecoins, but basically this index says, this is the weekly I'm looking at, meaning that this will rebalance once a week. So it says basically USDC, Render, Uniswap, Tether, Gnosis, DAI, Reef, and Polygon. And we do plan to update these, how they work. We're always looking to make these better. But let's say you have this index and you want to say, hey, I want to passively invest in crypto. I want to buy, right? So we have two projects we're working on through our different, right? One is basically a trading bot that lets you connect your exchange keys to, for example, Coinbase, and just auto buy or auto sell or auto rebalance this index for you, where you keep custody through your own exchange account, but leverage the Tokenmetrics platform. So that is something we've been using and testing with our fund. Right now it's just code, but we'd like to take that Python code and integrate that into the actual indices. That's something we're hoping to have ready this year. I would say time frame we're targeting is maybe for early testing, Q2 if possible, but I would say maybe Q3 might be more realistic. So that's one project. The other is to also take the same premise, but allow you to do it through DeFi in a non-custodial fashion, in a decentralized manner. That's where AstroDAO comes in. So, for example, take this Uniswap index, right? Because that's what AstroDAO is. It's right now an Ethereum project that lets you create your own index. Let me get this pop up out the way, right? So take this basket of these tokens. You can come to AstroDAO and basically create your own index, right? But why we're very excited with Data API is our team and the other contributors are working on using the Tokenmetrics Data API to take our AI indices plus also our AI signals and make them available on AstroDAO for anybody to be able to passively invest in crypto. Right. So for example, you could come here and say, okay, I want to invest in the Tokenmetrics Uniswap index. And using your MetaMask wallet or whatever, the whole process would be fully automated through smart contracts and our data API signals. So I think that's going to be a game changer. I mean, so everybody is talking about how AI narrative is big, but I think once this launches, we can automate the whole process. Then the second way is doing this for signals as well. So let's take, for example, let's say you want to trade. Let me see which one has a good. Let's say you want to trade ETH, right? So you want to follow our signals, right? So you have basically these signals, right? When it's green, it's bullish, you buy, right? Let me zoom out. but you want to automate the whole process using the token metric signals. So what we're doing is we're creating a signal that will take these visual trend indicators using the data API and smart contracts and create basically a trading pair, right? So basically it would be, because it has to be ERC20 tokens, it will be wrapped ETH and USDC, right? And the strategy would be basically when it's green, buy wrapped ETH. When it's red, sell to a stablecoin, sell to USDC. And it will just keep going back and forth, back and forth. So basically it will be an index with two tokens, but typically it will be 100% one coin, right? So kind of like a trading pair. So I think that'll be cool. So imagine we're hoping to launch the new contracts for AstroDAO. The audit should be done by end of this month is the time frame the auditors gave us. But let's say we launch in March the new contracts. Imagine being able to come here and have an Ethereum trading strategy powered by Token Metrics AI. Right? I think that's pretty cool, right? Or imagine being able to do that for any ERC20 token. So let's say you want to do like Polygon trading strategy, right? You could come here, take the trading signal, right? Whoever creates the index would basically create the index, pick the token. So in this case, you'd say, let's say I pick Polygon and Tether, right? So when the price here, when the signal turned bearish, the data API would send the signal via smart contracts. This will be our own script. We'll create a tutorial under our developer hub, which I shared earlier, that will show you how everything we're doing ourselves. We'll turn this into tutorials for people to come here and leverage our code, right? So in case you want to do your own. But I think that's when people see the value of taking our AI at Token Metrics and being able to integrate that into AstroDAO. So whether you want to trade individual tokens using our strategies or whether you want to invest in indices, I think it's going to be pretty powerful, right? So if you want to learn more, go to astrodao.org or just follow the coin on CoinGecko. You can add it to a watch list. All right, so let me check the chat and see what other questions we have. Block Banter says, should we sell the basic plan and buy VIP? What can we do with Astrobot basic plan? Well, basic plan gives you basic access, right? So if you come here, right, you can log in with your NFT on Token Metrics. It gives you access to basically all of this, the trading view indicator, our ratings, and that's kind of it. If you want to upgrade, we have advanced and premium plans. That's how that happens. Okay, Rahman says, do you still think IDO is a good investment? IDO did underperform basically last cycle. If we come back here, I know they had some kind of news come up, and I think it might have pumped based off of that. But right now, I just defer to what we have on the platform because that takes the most up-to-date data we have and tries to create a grade. Okay, looking at this, we still don't have enough data. I'm not sure why it's saying that. Okay, tech grade is decent. Yeah, I'd have to look into this. I see trading volume is very, very low. Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of a degen coin, 6.5 FDV. Okay, so not sure why did they rebrand? Not sure why the markets are not pulling in here. Okay, so it's not really on any exchanges as well. But I mean, I think worth looking into, but for now, I'll just kind of hold off until we're able to compute all this for idle. Rahman says, I'm sorry, Puneet says, any update on HiveMapper? So I did get my device, well, not me, but I ordered them for my parents and my brother. So I actually have to check up on them and see if they ever installed them. But devices are shipping. But right now, it's way overvalued. So I think if we put in HiveMapper, right, Honey token, because actually CoinGecko doesn't have the data. You have to go to CoinMarketCap for this. But it's very illiquid, not on any exchanges, especially on a Solana DEX. And I said my price point was like a bit of a penny. Basically, it has to be under 50 million FTV and under $20 million market cap, which it is not. All right. So right now, it makes no sense to even touch this at all. This has to go down like 98%, basically, which might not happen. I'm not sure why it's even this high, right? Because very few tokens are liquid, right? And people are just pumping it. So the way I would play it is, if you have the device and you're earning tokens, just use that to make some profits, right? Kind of like with Helium back in the day, right? So liquidity is not much. It's only trading on, was it Radium? Jupiter. Yeah, so very, very illiquid. So even this, you can't really trade it. I know there's a Helium OTC group on Telegram where people might be selling this. I know they're selling mobile tokens for Helium. But right now, buying this, I would not touch it personally myself. But in terms of actually trading it, I'm sorry, in terms of earning the tokens and taking profits, that I would do. But I don't really drive, so for me, the plan is to just buy the devices and give them to my family who drives. All right. Crypto Gamer says AGIX, NTX, and SDAO are connected to the same team of Dr. Ben Cortezo for AI sector. How is AstroDAO different from SDAO since they're a similar concept? Sure. Yeah, I did look into SDAO. Like if we go to this, I did see because Singularity DAO did pump, right? So for example, this has an FTV of 81 million. If we go back to the project we've been contributors to, AstroDAO, FTV of 13 million. So I think, obviously I'm biased, right? But I think it's undervalued relative to that. And then if we go to their website here, and first of all, I think the index sector is way undervalued. I think it's going to be more, the market will eventually catch up, right? And I think people are beginning to see that with AI, but I think people are also beginning to kind of speculate a lot. So you have to be careful, right? Because I see here, AI-powered DeFi, right? So it's kind of the same concept, right? That part is true. Let me get this out of the way. They call this Dynasys. I think we actually looked into this last year. I don't think they've launched as well, right? How's this? Okay, looks like the BTC Dynasys have launched. Right, but for us, all we know is we have designed the tokenomics and everything to be very, very particular from the ground up. If you go to our actual site, right? First of all, we've been doing. Let me pull this up here. We've been doing crypto for a while, but also AI for a while, right? I come from the IBM Watson background, so I already knew the power of AI. That's why I was just kind of salivating about bringing AI and crypto together. And that's why we built Tokenmetrics. And now being able to take our data, our signals, and make that available to anybody, well, via the data API, and then being able to integrate that to smart contracts to passively invest or trade with through a DeFi protocol. And then we also get tokenomics very, very well. I mean, hence the name Tokenmetrics. So we built this early on. This was an airdrop. There was no like early stage VC fundraising. Like this was basically an airdrop to our customers, our community, right? Early contributors, and that's why it's way more undervalued relative to other projects, right? But if you come, I would definitely recommend you go through and just read the incentives of how this is created. This is basically also a DAO governed by the community. The community basically kind of controls everything. And we think the incentives we have created cannot really be touched by any other project, at least we've come across, right? We really took a long time to focus on the incentives, the tokenomics and tokenmetrics of this, right? To make sure everything is, the game theory is created to incentivize all the stakeholders, from the index creators to the people investing into the index to people staking, right? Everything. I think the game theory, the tokenomics and tokenmetrics have to be right. Then you also need actually good signals, right? So now I don't know what signals they're going to be having, right? But with us being early contributors, right, we can take all these different signals we have and put them on AstroDAO using our data API, right? So versus holding, right? This is, I think, since like 2021, actually 2018, right? If you're just holding ETH, I'm not sure how their AI sets work, right? But this is not something we're just pulling out because the AI narrative has been trending, right? We've been doing this for a while, right? Now we're making this available through DeFi, right? So when we say we're bringing our tokenmetrics AI indices to AstroDAO, right? Take ERC20 token, right? Initially, we'll start with large caps, but take any ERC20 token, right? Because I think the strategy will take us this. We'll have our team, right, basically create the scripts and say, take any Ethereum-based token that has this threshold over liquidity with a high Sortino ratio, meaning that there's like actual alpha in this, and where the drawdown is pretty good, and we can automate that and put all those tokens on the platform on AstroDAO. Right. So imagine we could launch with like 10, 20, even 30 or more tokens that have alpha. But then from there, the community kind of has to decide which ones would get liquidity first. Right. So we kind of already have the data and AI part figured out already. Right. We just take whatever is working best and make that available on AstroDAO with the right tokenomics, where it's a lot more undervalued, and you actually have the incentive to deposit funds into that index. So, I mean, I definitely respect other teams. I think this is going to be a very, very good sector to be in. All right. So let's see what happens. Big K Crypto, how would this affect Polygon staking? To my knowledge, Polygon staking, because I do stake Polygon as well, I'm staking it myself directly through Polygon, well, through their smart contracts. So this is why I think DeFi is the future, right? All these centralized entities, first of all, they can get hacked, right? Or they can be frauds, right? Like FTX, and now regulation, right? So why deal with all that when you can just directly stake on chain? And that's why, to me, I think that's the way to go. That's why we're also bullish on LDL, a project we've covered before in the past. Like I was using them for liquid staking Ethereum through STETH, staked ETH. And that one has done pretty well. It still has a high investor grade, so definitely worth keeping an eye on this. But I think FTV is very, very high. They do have 75% market share. But I mean, everything else checks out, right? Great tech, great fundamentals, just overvalued, right? The other LSD or competitor we like, the one I'm trading right now, as mentioned before, is RPL, Rocket Pool, right? This is more undervalued, but let's actually compare this to that long term based on the investor grade. I would say that and Anchor. We actually bought Anchor for the long term. It's an infrastructure project for nodes and staking. Yeah, so investor grade not as high, right? Good tech, however, right? Also almost a good fundamental. Under $1 billion market cap and FTV. Anchor, 300 million FTV, right? High investor grade, right? So if you're really looking for this narrative, tech grade is almost good, very undervalued, great fundamentals, right? So if you're looking for the whole Ethereum liquid staking, let's actually go to the website here, right? An FTV of 300 million versus $1 billion Rocket Pool, and 2.3 billion was Lido, LDL, right? Staking infrastructure, liquid, secure, and easy to integrate, right? So in terms of if this whole sector narrative is going to be trending upwards, and LDO definitely is the best, but in terms of the valuation, not much money to be made there. It is a good, safe play, right? So if you want to invest in large caps, I think maybe worth having that in your portfolio. But if you want to kind of have a higher risk to get a higher return, I would be looking at Rocket Pool and Anchor Network. Anchor's actually been around for a while. I think since like 2018 or 19. but definitely worth looking into this, right? But that's kind of how I would play that using the platform, right? And if you're trading this, actually has a high trader grade. Let me see if there's any alpha with this. Actually, there is alpha. So sortino ratio over 3, which is good. Max drawdown 63% versus 92% of holding. And this is where this is good, right? ROI, basically 63x using this trading signal over 11 trades versus a 17x return, right? And this is an ERC20 token. So imagine then being able to take this signal using data API and our script and create an index on AstroDAO that lets you trade that signal, right? Basically, if I go back to, right, basically if we say, when this is bearish, sell from anchor to stablecoin, like Tether, and when it's bullish, buy, and anybody can passively invest in that, and using smart contracts, it's automated. I mean, to me, that's a huge game changer. I don't see anybody really doing that in crypto. So I think the partnership between Tokenmetrics Data API and AstroDAO is the game changer that I don't see anybody else who has indices is doing. But obviously, I'm biased, but that's why I'm very bullish on that. Okay, hi Ian. Can you please clarify when the template spreadsheet with sample code of Tokenmetrics Data API is planned to be shared? You were flashing it on the previous webinars. Yes, actually, I think so. We now have developers.tokenmetrics.com, the developer hub we're creating. If you go here, this is still a work in progress, but I just want to show you. If you come here to TM Data API integration with Google, let me put this in the chat here. I think this is going to be very, very helpful for anybody who wants to. This is actually one of the use cases. I'll kind of maybe preview this real quick. But basically, you come in here, you create your API key, and you can integrate this into Google Sheets, right? So if you're tracking and building your own signals, right, you can put this in Google Sheets and pull in the data. This is a script. You go to extensions, app script. You copy and paste the code we have here, basically this recipe. Right. And then basically it will create these buttons here. You basically just fill this out, right? You put in your token, the symbol, it will pull in the token ID. That's the index we use in our database to match it to a token. And you can pull in the data points, the endpoints, right? Like you can pull in investor grade, you can pull in trader signal, right? So let me actually share something real quick. Give me 1 second. Like this is what we're actually using with our fund, Tokenmetrics Ventures, right? So like we're eating our own dog food. That's why I like this a lot, because we can learn and also give feedback to our team on how we're using all of this, right? So for instance, if I zoom in here, I don't want to show everything because some of this stuff is private. Okay, not sure what that was. But just give me 1 second here.
You're not sharing screen.
Hey, Gaurav, you there?
You're not sharing screen.
You there, Gaurav?
Yeah.
Producer?
You're not sharing screen.
Yeah. So just give me a second. I'm pulling it up. Okay, I'm gonna. Right. So, all right. Okay. So, for example, this is one example, right? So we take, because all of these are data points, and we always want to have different points of confluence, right? So with Tokenmetrics Ventures, for example, right, we say, okay, what is the platform Tokenmetrics giving us? Right? Then we also do our own research, right? And looking at this, we basically create a list, right? So for instance, if you want to create a list for long-term investments, we want to track it in a spreadsheet, right? So we take all these tokens, right, that we've kind of, let's say we have a watch list we built up in the last 6 months. We put these tokens on a spreadsheet. We pull the symbol, we add the symbols, we pull the token ID using the script, right, from the data API, right? And we can have it pull in the tech grade, the investor grade, and the bullish signal. Also the evaluation. Then we also have our own blockchain engineers go through and do their own code review, right? So we can say, this is how we want to create a signal for points of confluence, right? So for instance, we can say, okay, if the investor grade is over 80 and the trade signal is bullish, and our own blockchain engineers also went through and also scored this over an 80. Right, so let me just go through that again. I'm sorry. Investor grade over 80, trader signal is bullish, and our blockchain engineers have a 80% or higher code review on it. Those 3 data points we want to buy, right? So we automate all that in a spreadsheet with the data from the data API, and then vice versa, right? Let's say that trader signal turns bearish. We want to have the spreadsheet automatically tell us, okay, sell. Then we just tell our trading team, OTC, that's whatever, buy, sell, right? So this is how you could use it, whether you're a trader, whether you have a fund, right? You can leverage all this directly with data API and Google Sheets. And so that's the part I was covering and talking about. Okay, let me now switch to my other window. Just bear with me. But I mean, that's the power of the data API, and why I think that's not what I want to do. All right, so now we are back. All right, so this tutorial shows you how to do all that. All right, so I posted that in the chat. It's under our developer hub. So we have that. We're working on uploading one on how to create your own trading bot using the signals from the data API. But yeah, anybody can. Right now, data API is currently in beta. You can just go to Tokenmetrics, the platform, and basically go to products, data API, and you basically just create your API key, generate API key, and use it, right? So for example, I have one for the spreadsheet, right? So right now we're building one on how to integrate into Astrobot. Ahmed says, actually, sorry, I skipped a whole bunch of questions. Let me go back. Yeah, happy Friday, everybody. You want to make sure I'm not skipping questions for those who are early in the stream. You lost some weight, looking good. Thank you, Joe. Yes, yeah. Right now I've been doing lots of fitness, health, and biohacking. Yeah, I've lost like over 50 pounds in the last 1 year. Thank you. Did Bill quit Tokenmetrics or was he fired? Basically, we wish Bill the best. He's not with us anymore. Basically, we did not approve of him talking about that token he talked about, Golden Retriever. It did not pass our research protocols. But that's all I can really say, and wish him the best. Ian, you got me to research Casper Labs around 35 cents a long time ago, and was able to pull the trigger at 0.025. I appreciate your work, man. Keep it up. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Do you think Shiba and Baby Doge have a future now? I mean, I would just say leverage the platform. Shiba, I think we covered that earlier. You said that Baby Doge. I mean, Shiba has been launching so many different projects and side projects and even other competitors with memes that it's hard to keep up with all these meme tokens, honestly. Looking at this 1.2 billion, almost 1.3 billion FTV. Yeah, that is high. Investing it, I mean, I'd wait until this goes to a strong buy. Trading it, much better, but the grade has dipped. So it looks like the trades is gone. The money's already been made on this. And the Sortino ratio is below 2. You're better off just holding this. Holding has performed better than trading this, using this signal. So that's kind of the way I would look at it. Thoughts on Cosmos ecosystem? Very, very bullish on Cosmos. Very bullish. We've on the fund side, we've made investments in lots of Cosmos products, especially app chains. Cosmos has been taking market share away from Polkadot. Polkadot, while technology is great, the parachains has become very expensive to my knowledge. Although I'm no Polkadot expert, but to my knowledge, it's hard for developers, new teams, to have the capital to get a parachain. But it's been very easy for them to get into the Cosmos ecosystem. So very bullish in the Cosmos ecosystem, and products we like in that we shared with our customers. Let me see. Yeah, Bill is definitely gone. Wish him the best. If you want to follow Bill, go to his channel and his Twitter. But for us, he's not with us anymore. I hold multiple Astrobots. How do I get the token metrics indicator on TradingView? You just go to your settings page, right? Settings. Now, like in this case, right? You come in here, right? Like right now, I'm logged in here, right? And you basically just put in your TradingView details, username, you add it. Once you do that, it goes to TradingView. You come here to indicators, invite only scripts, and it would automatically send you a script, right? So that's basically the process. It's an invite only script just for our customers or those that have purchased the actual TradingView indicator. Are you still bearish for 2023? I mean, doesn't matter. It might sound crazy, but the macro does not matter. Bearish on what, right? On the whole market could be bearish, but we can still make money. That's what matters, right? Just like Cantor made money. Today, Dusk is making money, right? Up 31%, right? Loopring, which is also a trade we have, is up 14% today. So like bearish on what, right? Yes, if the whole market is bearish and everything is going down, it's tough. But then you have to kind of go on the sidelines, go to a store of value, or go to the sector that's working, right? So sometimes it could be VC, early stage projects, private sales, right? Like right now, the VC sector in crypto is doing very, very well. It's a hot sector. We made 2 investments this week with our fund on the VC side in projects that we think are pretty good. Actually, one of them I think is competing with DYDX, has a good investor list. I believe Coinbase invested in some other funds, but projects are coming back down to earth with their valuations, because I mean it was a bear market post. Well, it was a bear market, then FTX happened, right? We had Celsius, Terra Luna, UST, Voyager, BlockFi, then FTX. So projects that were good, they're still out there, but now their valuations are back down to earth. So now they're deeply undervalued. So to me, the VC sector has been very, very hot, because when we launched our fund in April, we weren't really making investments on the VC side because everything was just way overvalued. But now it's back down to earth. We've been very, very active every single month, right? So sectors like that, there's sector rotation, right? So NFTs were hot for a while, then DeFi, then something else, right? AI narrative is big now, right? VC is doing pretty well. So you have to find where the alpha is in each market, bear market or bull market. Can you talk about Wabi? I don't really have much to say about Wabi. I mean, my understanding is kind of, there haven't been too many updates since it launched a while back. I mean, we made money on it back in like 2017, 2018, but now like market cap 7.5 million. The FTV is like what, 10 million? That's much. That was the market cap when they like launched, right? So not much to say about it other than fundamentals okay, right? But I'll just look at other tokens for the time being. Can we do APT real quick? Aptos. Okay, let's take a look at Aptos. investor grade is decent. Technology on Aptos, I mean, definitely one of the most solid projects out there tech-wise. Fundamentals could be better, right? It just newly launched, so it's still kind of getting there. Valuation is very, very high. So long-term, I'd wait till it goes to like an 80. If you're trading it, do we have a trader grid on this? Yeah, this trader grid has dipped. This one is newly launched, so it's going to be kind of tough to really, right now holding it and trading is kind of the same. But I mean, the fact that the grade is going down on the trade side, I would kind of maybe hold off. All right, let me see the other questions I haven't answered. Jen says, will Solana Network be our next Matic? I mean, I think so. I'm bullish, very, very bullish, right? A fund has been accumulating because I'll kind of walk you through, even though I'm kind of beating a dead horse now. Under 200 million FTV, good investor grade, meaning good tech, good fundamentals, highly undervalued, has a cross-chain narrative, which is going to be a big narrative, I think, for next market cycle. So I think definitely worth keeping an eye on this project. Now, next Matic, who knows? But we're going to be in a multi-chain world. That's full stop, right? That's something I think is happening. We have it with whether Ethereum wins that with L2s, or whether it's cross-chain, right? Whether we have Celestia, Layer 0, Polkadot, but it's going to be a cross-chain / multi-chain world. All these L1s coming out, people have to connect value across all these L1s because nobody knows which one is going to finally win out and be the de facto winner and standard, whether ETH and L2s with Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, or whether it's Cosmos. But people want to bet on everything and have access to everything and be able to move value across everything. That's something that I think is going to be needed. So as a result of that, that's a big narrative we're very, very bullish on. Thoughts on Solana compared to Ethereum back in 2017? Yeah, I mean, I think Solana is going through its Ethereum 2017 to like 2019, maybe 20 market cycle moment, right? Because Ethereum dropped 95% from all-time high, and so has Ethereum. I'm sorry, so has Solana. Then it's bounced back. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, this might have bottomed. And then, as I mentioned before, Team Investor Grade then flipped to bullish to being over 80 for Sol. Plus the Solana mobile news coming out, I think could be a huge catalyst. And when I heard they're partnering with Helium Network for Helium Mobile, so imagine having a crypto-first blockchain phone built from the ground up hardware-wise, right? Because the Solana team comes from Qualcomm, which is known for having great hardware engineers, right, and telecom engineers. So they kind of get that, building good hardware, then having Helium, and there are almost 1 million hotspots globally, provide coverage for that. So a blockchain phone, a crypto phone that's crypto from the ground up with a crypto telecom carrier. If that does well, that's a game changer, right? Now there is execution risk, but I think, let's say it's like 5 to 10% chance it does well. That's like Solana going to all-time highs and doing a 10x from there. I mean, Solana, if that does well, like if that begins to compete with like Apple, probably not. But let's say people love to speculate, right? And typically speculation transcends the actual adoption. But let's say it actually works pretty well. I could see Solana really doing almost 100x, right? It seems crazy, but at that point you have to start thinking, okay, if that happens and they get developers on board and they get a good actual app store, because nobody else has that in crypto, right? So I could see Solana just going parabolic. So what does that mean? That means it goes from 12 billion FTV, 10x from there, because ultimate high was like about 260. So let me just do some quick math real quick. 20. Yeah, so 10x from here is like 220. Yeah, let's say 10x from here. We're looking at 111 billion. But then at 10x from there, we're looking at $1 trillion. So $1 trillion market cap, right? Total crypto market cap is now what, like 2 trillion? I'm sorry, it's like 1 trillion something, right? If I go to, yeah, market cap is like 1 trillion. If we think crypto total market cap could go to like, let's say 5 trillion, maybe even 10 trillion, I mean, Solana could become like the head honcho, and the big dog. Because yeah, looking at this, right? Currently, SOL dominance is around like what, 0.73%? Because let's say that happens, right? Let's say Solana becomes the next ETH. Ethereum dominance is 19%, right? So, but that's very ambitious. Let's say it does a 10x. Let's say it goes to like 7.31%. And let's say market cap goes to like 3 trillion. Actually, I said what, a 10x? So let's say we go from 3 trillion to like almost 10 trillion. That's being very, very ambitious. Because, let me see. Yeah, like almost $1 trillion Solana. Yeah, Solana would be like, it really, really competing with Ethereum at that point. I don't want to spend too much time trying to do all this paper napkin math, but if it's currently here, right, market share wise, right, because Bitcoin has 40% dominance, 17% is ETH. So the ETH competitor or the ETH alternative, that's not just purely an EVM chain, right? If it can get like 3 to 7% market share, right? And if crypto goes to like, let's say 5 trillion market cap, right? You're looking at basically Solana and basically $500 to $1,000 Solana. I think that's reasonable, honestly, right? The World Economic Forum predicts crypto by 2027. That's in like what, 4 years, right? So let's say like next 4 years, 3 to 4 years is the next market cycle. We're looking at $10 trillion total crypto market cap, right? If Solana can capture 7% of that, we're looking at almost $2,000 Solana. From current prices, that's 100x, right?
We just landed on the moon in the Lambo.
All right, so very, very ambitious, right? But I mean, so now you take a back step, right? And say, okay, what could make Solana 100x from current prices? What's the catalyst? Right? Let's say it bounces back, developers are building, it can bounce back to all-time high, but how does it go above all-time high and do a 10x after that, right? 10x was times a 10x for 100x. I think if Solana phone takes off, or if it even has any resemblance to just purely looking like it's gonna do well, kind of like OpenAI, right? They launched ChatGPT 3 and just went parabolic. Now everybody wants to invest in AI, right? Now you have Microsoft investing what, 10 billion into OpenAI. Then you have Google now launching Bard and investing 300 million into Anthropic to try to maintain their position. Like, what happens if Solana creates a smartphone partnering with Helium that has also a crypto first app store? Now they're competing with Apple and Android and Google. How does Ethereum counter that? They might be behind. Then you start to see developers rush to build their own phone, but you can't just fork the hardware device. Right? It takes time to actually ship hardware, quality hardware. So they'll have a first mover advantage. I mean, that could really be a huge catalyst. Right? So if Sol's going to do 100x, based on the data I see, that's a pathway for it to do 100x from current prices. That is being ambitious, but if you told me, okay, the Ethereum competitor is able to capture 7.31% of total crypto market cap. That's basically, they'd have to do a 10x in market dominance as the market gets bigger and bigger and bigger. All right, so that's ambitious, but it's reasonable. Okay, all right. Are we still on for 100? Is that 100 sterling, 100 pound K Bitcoin, just around 100K Bitcoin? I mean, anything is possible, but at this point in time, if we go back to BTC, looking at this right now, I mean, trading it, wow, trading rate has dipped a lot, so I would not be trading this at all. Let's see if there's any alpha with this signal. It's better than holding, but it's still not. I mean, there's no money to be made in Bitcoin, as I keep on saying, right? So we just look at it maybe to see if capital flows from Bitcoin to alts, because of this market page, right? Because what we're really waiting for is capital to go from Bitcoin season to alt season, right? Buy low, sell high. When it's alt season, basically we're cashing out, we're taking profits, we're going on crypto retirement. Right now, we're just looking for all these next plays for the next cycle, meaning that once we go here, we start taking profits. We will keep a moon back, but we're taking profits. That's the way I'll be playing it. Somebody said Caspa. Yeah, Caspa is not. I know that's like an influencer token, right? But the one I'm thinking of, maybe it's a different Caspa. But I don't think we have enough data for this. Actually, we do. Okay. All right. Looking at this. Okay, it has good fundamentals, but that's all we have. Very 109 million cap. Trading. Okay, so trading wise, would I trade this? Certainty ratio is high, but max drawdown is low. But ROI is lower than just holding it. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, that's kind of weird. But I mean, I would only trade it in terms of investing long term. That I'm not sure of. All right, so I think that's enough in terms of token. If you want to learn more about the tokens, just use Tokenmetrics as a platform. We do have a 1-week free trial, so I encourage you to go and do that. Let me see if there are any other tokens here. I'm sorry, any other questions I can answer here. Let me, looks like YouTube lost my place here. Obrigado. Crypto Gamer says, I've been a Tokenmetrics member since 2020 and never got the AstroDAO airdrop. It was given to those who finished KYC within the deadline. That's all I can really say. Ahmed says, I think Facebook is the next giant name on the list to enter AI space. Wait for it. What I'm saying right now, if anything, just focus on AI tokens is no-brainer gains. Yeah, AI is going to be a big space, right? We have, first of all, we have OpenAI. Then we have Google. But don't forget Tesla. Tesla and Elon Musk are going to be launching their own, the Tesla Androids. I mean, that's crazy too. Let me see, Tesla Android. I think yeah, I mean, this is gonna be pretty crazy. It's like actual like iRobot stuff, right? This, like, don't forget this. When this actually comes out, this will show this with AI. I mean, think about it. Imagine like OpenAI's AI, because Elon Musk is also, I think, an early investor or on the team of OpenAI. So I can definitely see a partnership between OpenAI and these androids. We're really getting into like some surreal stuff. This is almost like fantasy, right? So Tesla Android that can actually think like OpenAI. This feels like Westworld, right? So this will be a huge catalyst for the AI space as well. What else? Then if you add Facebook, Facebook definitely has to be thinking of doing something. They can't just sit there on the sidelines as these big companies just surpass them. And then Apple as well. I mean, Apple is no laggard, right? So Apple must be doing something with AI. So, I mean, all this is going to be huge, huge for the space, right? So instead, prototype is scheduled to launch in 2022. When's the actual launch date? Let me get a Android launch date. Call it robot. Okay, that's not really pulling up much. Yeah, let's see release date if they have any actual rumors. Yeah, because this was revealed during their AI day, and it says production for the first version of Optimus will commence in 2023. And long term, he says the robot will be more valuable than the car. They think this Optimus robot is going to be more valuable than Tesla cars. So basically, Tesla is pivoting from cars to robots. All right. So yeah, this was what they showed during demo day. So imagine this with the brain of OpenAI. I mean, are we in a matrix? Let's see here. Let me see, 2023. Yeah, so we have to wait, but basically, hold on, pre-order information. Is there an actual link? Yeah, so no pre-orders yet, but we can expect pre-orders begin this year. I mean, stay tuned. Okay, I think we can wrap things up there. It's been a pretty good live stream. If you enjoyed the live stream, definitely be sure to tell a friend that not using tokenmetrics and our data API is a financial crime. All right, with that being said, hope you all have a good weekend, and let us know. I'll be back again next week around the same time. But with that being said, as we like to say,
We just landed on the moon in a Lambo.
there's still alpha out there, whether it's a bear market or even a bull market, but especially in the bear market, the ways to find alpha. And we're creating the tools to help you with that, whether it's with tokenmetrics, the platform, whether it's with the data API, or whether it's with AstraDAO. With that being said, I'll see you all next week. The moon is not the limit to the moon and beyond. Thank you.